And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the old ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. Tonight, I'm going to tell you one of the most incredible tales ever to come out of the Old West. It concerns a red flannel shirt. A very ordinary object, you're probably thinking. But this shirt was involved in a murder as well as a secret bonanza. I call my story The Red Flannel Shirt. It is the year 1873 in the wild mining camp of Virginia City, Nevada, the site of the most fabulous silver strike of all time, the one and only Comstock lode. But not everyone shared in the mountain of silver ore which honeycombed the earth underneath Virginia City. One mine, in fact, the Crown Western had dug down more than a quarter of a mile without tapping a single vein of high-grade ore.
Set off the blast yet?
Not yet, Mr. Gerlach. There's good indications of a vein. This should give us the answer.
Do you think Odell noticed anything when he drilled those powder holes?
No, to him, this was just another blast.
Ah, hello there, Mr. Gerlach. Mr. Carney.
Hello, Odell.
You better take cover.
The fuse a little close, didn't you, Odell?
Well, that's one way of putting it, Mr. Kiley. Me, I'd rather say I timed it right.
You're pretty sure of yourself, aren't you?
Sure, with blasting, Mr. Gerlach, you've got to be sure. One mistake, and you're blown right through the pearly gates.
An optimist to boot.
Well, where else would the likes of me go but straight to heaven, with an angel of a wife guiding my footsteps?
Well, it's time for you to go to her. Tell the man at the hoist we'll be up in a few moments.
Oh, thank you, sir. Good night to you.
Good night, Odell.
There's the vein, and look how wide it is.
Yeah, but how rich is it? That's the question. We'll have Willis run a test on some samples tonight.
I thought I told you you could go.
Oh, that you did, Mr. Kiley.
What did you come back for?
But I forgot my pipe. And I left it over here in this knee brace while I was working with the powder. But it's gone. Oh, no, that's my favorite pipe. You sad day, indeed, if I was to lose that, I tell you. There it is. Glory be. Look at this, Mr. Gerlach.
What about it?
Well, by the heft of it, it's high grade for sure.
You can't tell high grade by hefting it. That's what we pay an assayer for.
Oh, well, that I know, Mr. Gerlach. And it's far from an expert I am, but this is way too heavy to be just plain rock.
You're right about that. It's most likely lead.
Ah, but lead and silver often go together.
Oh, but not always. And this is probably lead, just like a lot of the other samples we've taken. Come on, let's go up.
That's a riddle, Kathy. That's got my head spinning. Why should Mr. Gerlach, the mine owner, come down there with Kiley just when I'm setting off the blast? Oh, Why did they act so upset when I came back after my pipe? Aye. And why should they act as though they wanted the ore to be worthless? And I should have been jumping for joy just from the heft of it. And why should they have kept the men out of that drift now for a whole week?
Why ain't you over here wiping the dishes instead of sitting there worrying about something that's none of your business?
Because the answer to this riddle, Kathy, me love, could move the Odells from a shack on Miners Row to a fine house on Easy Street.
Can't be.
What can't be?
That's molten silver, isn't it?
According to my figures, it's worth over $600 a ton.
$600 a ton? That's practically solid silver.
And we're holding every ace in the deck. Keep this under your hat, Willis, until we play out the hand.
You didn't have to say that, Mr. Gerlach. I don't give out information.
You'd better not. If this leaks out, I'll know where it came from.
$600 a ton. Man, do you realize what this means?
That's why I'm here. I'll keep the news undercover until you can buy up the stock on the quiet. Then we'll split 3 ways.
You just made yourself a deal.
And you just made yourself $1 million. Let's go over to the Silver Slipper, Kylie, and relax. Care to join us?
Later, maybe. I want to get busy on this. Burn up those telegraph wires.
There's one thing I hear tell of the owners sometimes do, Kathy, that might be the answer. To keep the men from spreading the news, they shut him up in the mine by pretending there's been an accident.
That's what I'd call a sneaky trick.
Aye, but if such a thing should come to pass at Con Western, I want you to take our $300 and go out and buy all the stock it'll buy.
Now you're thinking too fast to be thorough, Patrick. Mine accidents are happening all the time. How would I know whether it was real or pretend? And if it was real, God forbid, I'd need that $300 more than ever.
Aye, it's a good point you make. I've got it, Kathy. If it's a strike, and I can get word to you, I'll send for this red flannel shirt.
That's using your head. Now use your feet and run down to McDilton's store. I need a spool of red thread.
I'm on my way.
Now mind you, only one beer. We're not rich yet.
Then I'll take 2 kisses.
Sit down and have a drink.
How much can we trust Willis, the assayer?
Why do you ask?
Just came into my office. Bought 400 shares of Con Western.
Did he say anything?
No, and I didn't tip off that I knew.
I guess 400 shares is cheap for keeping the secret.
If he doesn't, that 400 will be 40,000 before I can turn around.
Just to be safe, I think I'd better have a little talk with Willis. I understand you bought some Con Western.
I had a little money to spare, and I didn't think you'd mind, Mr. Gerlach.
Well, I do mind. You just the same as reached into my pocket and took out over $100,000. Where's the sales slip?
Why, it's in... Why?
Well, I want it.
I got a right to buy stock.
Sure, but not at my expense. Get that slip.
All right, if you say so, Mr. Gerlach. I guess it was wrong of me to buy the stock, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you angry.
Mr. Willis! Mr. Willis! Mr. Willis! Mr. Willis?
Who shot him?
I don't know.
I'll run and get the doctor.
No. I'm thinking it's the sheriff you better be getting.
Here was Odell who found Willis last night.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Do you think he could have seen you leaving there? The sheriff's been questioning him.
If he saw me leaving, I'd be having my share of questioning too right now.
Yes, I guess you're right.
Calm down, man. You're jumpy.
I can't help it. I've never been mixed up in anything like this before. And it scares me every time I think about it.
Don't think about it. Just think of all the money you're going to make instead. Are all the miners underground?
Odell was the last one on.
Then let's get ready to tell him. Usually means something's wrong, but today's an exception. Con Western has just tapped the biggest bonanza in history.
Bonanza?
Richest ore ever tested. Assays $600 a ton.
And $90 is high grade. $600 a ton. Glory be.
I figured you men would like to drink to that, so I brought some champagne. A bottle for everybody. Step up and get it.
Here you go, here you go. Money for everybody.
Hold on, men. Here's something else to drink to. There'll be no work and double pay for 10 whole days.
Yeah! Oh, now, just a minute, me hard rockers. Just a minute. This is a very generous thing Mr. Gerlach is doing. But I'm betting my bottle of champagne, which I'd trade for a good glass of beer any day, that there's a catch to the gentleman's benevolence. Do I win or lose, Mr. Gerlach?
You win, Odell. There is a catch to it.
Yeah. And I'm betting the catch is that we're spending this 10-day double-pay vacation sitting right down here, while Mr. Gerlach is out cornering the stock and cleaning up.
That's right. There's too much at stake to let you men out to spread the word. You'll have every comfort. Just tell Kiley what you want and he'll see that you get it. There'll be no letter writing or notes. To the folks outside, you're down here because the hoisting machinery broke.
No. Easy, lads. Easy. As my old mother used to say, rest her soul, Patrick used to say, whenever you're faced with a situation you can't lick, be smart and enjoy it. And this looks like one of those situations.
put down what they want, Kylie.
When I call your name, Yella, just special stuff. Regular things I'll bring without asking. Roderick?
10 plugs of charm tobacco.
10 plugs of tobacco. Hadley?
Cards and poker chips.
Poker gear. Odell?
Oh, just tell Kathy to send me down my red flannel shirt.
Flannel shirt for Odell.
Be sure you say red flannel. It is the only one I'm sure there's buttons in.
Get busy on that stuff for the men. I want to talk to the hoist operator. Evans, how'd you like to make an easy $1,000?
Don't even have to be easy, Mr. Carlock.
Take this sledge and bust that hoisting cable gear over there. Then keep your mouth shut.
You won't be able to use that hoist until you get a new gear from San Francisco.
That's the idea.
News that the hoist broke down made the stock easier to buy. San Francisco reports that they've been able... Oh, somebody wants me in the outer office. I'll be right back.
How many shares has he picked up so far?
6,000. That's just the start. Just to be careful, you know, and move slowly.
It's happened again.
What's happened?
Another buyer for Con Weston. 150 shares.
Who is it?
Mrs. Patrick Odell.
Odell, the powder man.
Did she give any reason why she picked Con Western?
He said her husband told her last night that he had a hunch it would be a good investment.
A hunch? Well, go ahead and sell it to her.
Funny that Odell would get a hunch like that, isn't it?
That was no hunch. He knew about the strike.
How could he?
Willis told him.
Willis?
Only 4 men knew the secret. You, Sykes, myself, and Willis, who's dead. You didn't tell him. Sykes didn't tell him, and I didn't tell him. So it had to be Willis.
That would mean that Willis was still alive when Odell found him.
Right. And if he told Odell about the strike, you can bet he told who shot him. Evidently, Odell decided to keep his mouth shut until he could cash in on the stock.
You think he'd go to see the sheriff when he gets out of the mine?
Who said he was going to get out?
Sorry, gentlemen. Sorry, there's no more Con Western stock available. Market's closed for the day.
When do you think we ought to unload?
Oh, in a day or two. It's up to 300 already.
$2 a share to 300. Not a bad profit.
Mr. Gerlach, Evans has the new hoisting gear in place.
I guess we might as well bring up the men. See you later, Sykes. The hoist all ready, Evans?
All ready, Mr. Gerlach.
Well, you might as well start the men up, Kylie. Let me off at the 900-foot level. I want to check some shoring.
Yes, sir.
Let's go over it again so there won't be any slip-up. When you start sending the men up, do it alphabetically so Odell won't have any argument about being with the first load. When the men have started up, give Odell this coil of fuse to put in the powder room. By the time he gets there, I'll have slid down the air shaft and be waiting for him.
What if someone hears a shot?
How can they? They'll all be above ground. When you go up, send the hoist man home. Then we can bring up the body without anyone seeing us and bury it in the tailings where it'll never be found.
I hope this goes as smooth as it sounds.
It will if you do your part.
beast is coming down! Grab your stuff, you lopers, we're going up! You don't have to say a word, Mr. Kiley. Just stand aside.
Hold it. At this rate, nobody will get up. Now, let's take it in alphabetical order. Albert, Bailey, Barnett, Colby, Daniels, Delaney. The rest of you step back.
The first time I ever wished my name was Adele.
Dell, while you're waiting, will you put this fuse away for me? We'll be using it tomorrow.
Oh, sure thing, Mr. Kiley. Oh, and, by the way, Mr. Kiley, there's something I might be asking of you, sir.
Go ahead.
What would be the price of Conwestern stock at the present moment?
$300 a share.
300? Multiplied by 150, that would come to 5 carry the 1. Glory be. Mr. Kiley, I'm very happy to tell you you're talking to a man worth $45,000. All thanks to my red flannel shirt.
Thanks to you, what?
My red flannel shirt. Asking for it when you had us locked up down here was my clever way of telling me darling Kathy to go out and buy 150 shares of stock.
You mean that you didn't find out from, that is, you didn't know anything about the strike until Mr. Gerlach told you?
It was the first time I knew for certain. Of course, I had a hunch the kettle might be coming to a boil, for reasons I won't bother you with at the present moment.
Odell, just a minute.
Oh, now, Mr. Kiley, you're not angry with me for outsmarting you, are you?
No, not angry. I was just thinking. Under the circumstances, you're anxious to go home. So I'll take the fuse and put it away for you.
Well, now, that's an offer I'd accept without argument. Wait for me, you hard rocker! Wait for me!
Mr. Gerlach. Mr. Gerlach. Mr. Gerlach. Mr. Gerlach, it's me, Kiley. Mr. Gerlach. Mr. Gerlach. Mr. Gerlach! Mr. Gerlach! Mr. Gerlach! Mr. Gerlach! Mr. Gerlach! Mr. Gerlach.
Poor Mr. Gerlach. Imagine having such an accident at a time like this.
It's a shame. Just when he should be enjoying the fruits of his labors.
And that's the story of this red flannel shirt, which became a symbol of wealth and happiness to some, of tragedy and retribution to others.